pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There is a prepared agenda that the council has, and there are some on the seats. There's one item to be added. Project Y14 North 4th Street Sidewalk Improvement Project. So we will add that as 9A. Okay, the council has the minutes of the meeting of the last regular meeting of June 18th and the special meeting of June 25th. Any corrections or comments?
Move approval. Second.
Motion's been made to approve the minutes of both the June 18th and the regular and the special meeting on the 25th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, tonight we have one public hearing. We will turn this over to Glenn.
Thank you, Councilmember Boitinghaber. Council. The area that we're looking at here is requested to be rezoned. Currently, it's zoned both R1, a small piece of property previously owned by the Marshall Middle School, or the school property, as well as an adjacent piece of property that's been zoned R3, which is multiple, low to medium, multiple family residence district. And the request is to rezone that to a limited business district, B1. We had discussion of this at the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission, after their review of all input, recommended its approval to the City Council. And I think at this time, I will, that's really all we have to say about it. We recommended approval as well. If there's any comments, maybe from the developer, would like to make a few comments, maybe his intent for development might be appropriate, but just a reminder, the rezoning really doesn't have to do with a specific development, but it's nice to see what the developer has in mind.
Mr. Carr or Mr. Carr, would you like to?
This is my concept. This is a drive from East College Drive, and then this would be a drive from Union C Street, and I build office spaces, and this would be a 6,000 square foot building divided up into 3 offices, or whatever people want. So I want the whole thing, fine, I would do the whole thing, and then, so, there really seems to be a need for office space around town, something that's really nice. And I think this would fit that bill.
Mr. Carr, would you mind just showing the audience where the offices are?
These are the office buildings here. This is a 6,000 square foot building, and 3 separate offices. These are 2,000 square foot, or you could rent the whole thing if you wanted to.
Thank you, Mr. Carr.
That's about all I got to say, and if there's any comments, I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Carr. Does anyone in the audience like to make any comments about this rezoning? No one would like to make any comments. Do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded to close the public hearing. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Then we have the adoption of the ordinance.
Move approval?
Second.
Mr. Reynolds made the motion to approve the ordinance, seconded by Dan Ritter. Any discussion?
I just got one question. It's, all those proposed buildings are office spaces, right, Bob?
Yes, they are.
They're not strip mall, they're office space. Okay.
Any other discussion on the motion? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is awarding of bids. We will turn this over to Glenn Olson, city engineer.
Thank you, Mr. Bowenheimer and council. We have three items that we need to do for this project. First of all, we have the resolution declaring the cost to be assessed, the resolution declaring the official intent if we want to include this project in any sort of bonding, and third, the resolution accepting the bid and awarding the contract. You can take a look at the resolutions that we have prepared for you, and I want to just give you a short explanation here of the intent. The intent is for this project, we have a project of about $130,600. And MnDOT will participate in the construction amounts up to 60% of that contract. And it does not include contingencies or engineering in that participation. So you can see the approximate local share of the College Drive project to be about $80,700. That is to be split by city funds, and we have discussed the item with Southwest Minnesota State University, but we will have to do further discussions with them on their availability for special assessments or by agreement. And Dennis, we haven't really had a chance to talk about that at all yet, but that's something that we will have to follow a legal procedure with.
Right, you and I have not discussed that, and I'm just trying to recall what happened on that east area. There were some discussions with the university, and that involved the Attorney General's office, but through those discussions, they were amenable to an amount to be paid. So I would expect the same process to be followed here.
Also, MnDOT would approve, once the construction contract is complete, they will adjust their funding according to the 60% split of the construction amount. So it might vary a little bit from that based upon any change orders on the job and things like that. Also, you can see that we have recommended the contract be awarded to Thompson Excavating, and there was a discussion there of the shortage, I'll call it, of the bid bond on the bid from 10% required to the 5% that was supplied. And I did check with the bonding company that did bond the job. They had a request from the contractor to provide the bonding for the project, not requesting the percentage that it was. They assumed it was the same as other state bids and included that bond at no knowledge of the owner. However, I did then refer the issue to the city attorney, and he indicated that it would be up to the city council to waive technicality prior to the award. So in the process, if you have any questions on any of that, maybe the attorney might be one to ask more of that if you need
further explanation. I will say that in the past, we have had some issues like this with the bidder's bond. We've had some discussions of the difficulty of collecting on the bidder's bond. And in the future, we've had some discussion in the past about future projects being required to have cashier's checks or certified checks or something like that, that's really a cash holding on the part of the city. And the intent of that is to give the city some sort of guarantee that they are going to be paying for the lowest price for that work being done. So if in fact, in this case, Mr. Thompson accepts the bid at that rate, there is no loss, there is no question. Let's say that we awarded it to the low bidder and he didn't accept it. That's what the bidder's bond is for. So that the next low bidder then, let's say it was 10% higher than the low bid, we could theoretically collect on that bidder's bond to keep us, the city, whole in its low bid process. Okay, that's really what the bid bond is for. It's for the I'll call it the guarantee that we're going to get the low bid according to the low bid, whether or not the low bidder takes it or not. See? And so that's what that's for. And in this case, we have all the knowledge in the world that the low bidder will accept the project. So, Dennis, any other comments on that?
No, and then, assuming he does accept that and move on to the next step of contracting, then that's when we've got the performance bond. Then there's the next level of bonding that kicks in, and the only thing we're talking about here is that initial guarantee of following through with their bid. Yeah.
We also had the discussion of we don't want bidders to start playing games with the bidder's bond.
Right.
Gee whiz, if you're only going to accept the 5% instead of the 10% required, we don't want to start playing games with that. Neither do we. We want to make sure that if a mistake happens, it's a true mistake, and we contact the people involved with the mistake. And when, in this case, it wasn't the bidder's fault, even though that he's responsible for his bid, we're going to recommend what we think is the next step. But we're going to have some further discussion on whether bidder's bonds should be certified checks, whether that's on a vehicle or on a contract. If you've got a $5 million contract, you probably don't want to have a cash bond. So one of those things where maybe there's some up to $100,000 you require a cash bond. But that's something that we're going to have to discuss because of things that happen during the bidding procedure.
So would that be something that should be addressed by the Ways and Means Committee or LNO? Or Public Improvement and Transportation?
I think it should come back as a discussion from the attorney's office to, it's a process. An L&O group?
No, I
don't
like
know.
the PI&T
Okay.
suggestion, that they're more of the overall contracting, public the improvement, and that's where we run into this problem. And like Glenn said, we don't want bidders playing games with this. If in fact we require 10% and, well, we'll accept 5% this time, but next time we really mean it. We mean 10% next time, then.
Okay, so Jane would, or Glenn, make sure that that gets on the next
PI&T?
P, Public Improvement and Transportation Committee meeting. Okay, everything? Okay,
So-
let's,
Yes, so we would recommend they be taken in order, A, B, and C, and we recommend approval of all three.
okay, item A, the resolution declaring the cost to be assessed and ordering the preparation of the assessment roll. I notice before a motion is made, there is no interest rate specified in item number 2, and I think that needs to be included as part of the motion.
And let's see, Tom here. Typically, we get that from Mike's office through Tom, or through Springstead's. I know what you've had in the past, that 6 1/4, but
I
I
believe the
accept that.
policy has been 2% above what our most recent bond issuance cost, net cost is, which would put this at about 6.25 or 3%.
So we'll just take it as that 2% above the most recent? Is that what you want to use?
Well, yes, put, whoever makes the motion, if they would include that as part of the motion. So we're providing direction to staff. Do we have a motion for that resolution?
I'll make a motion for the resolution. Declaring the cost to be assessed and then to put the percentage rate at 2% above the last net percentage rate we had for a bond.
Which was basically just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, motion's been made by Charlie, seconded by Dan to adopt this resolution. All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Those opposed, same sign. Moving on to the next resolution, declaring the official intent regarding the reimbursement of the expenditures for this project with tax exempt bonds. This has been a very standard resolution that we've adopted basically with all projects, so that the decision can be made later if we so desire to include this as part of a bond issue. It cannot be included as part of a bond issue unless there's been either a prior approval by resolution. We can't do it after the fact. So is there a motion?
Make a motion that we consider declaring official intent regarding reimbursement through expenditures through tax exempt bonds.
Is there a second to that motion? Second. Motion made by Charlie, seconded by Mike to adopt the resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And thirdly, consider the resolution accepting the bid to the lowest bidder, Thompson Excavation, for $130,636.05.
Make a motion that we accept that bid and waive the technicalities of the bid bond that was brought forward.
Is there a second to that? Motion made by Charles, seconded by Mike to accept the low resolution awarding to Thompson Excavation, and that the 5% bid bond error mistake be waived. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Next is awarding of a bid for project Y20, the Tiger Drive, Harriet Drive Sidewalk Project. Again, we'll turn it over to Glenn.
Thank you, Councilmember Boigenheimer and council. The items are real similar to the ones that we just went through. Same A, B, and C of the resolution declaring cost to be assessed, and the intent to use the reimbursement of expenditures with proceed of tax exempt bonds, and then the resolution accepting the bid or awarding the contract to Rogie Excavating of Taunton in the amount of $57,765.40.
Glenn, a clarification, in the recommendation to the council, you have waived the technicality. Was there a, I don't believe there was.
There was none. There was none.
Okay. So, when we get to that third item, there was not a bid bond irregularity.
There is not.
Thank you, Glenn. Okay, action A, cost to be assessed and ordering preparation of the assessment. Do we hear a motion?
So moved. I'll second that.
Motion made by Mike, seconded by Charlie, to approve the resolution declaring costs to be assessed and preparation of the assessment.
Would you want that same addition that you had on the prior one? There is no interest rate stated.
Is that okay to add that into the motion? Is that okay with the second? Any discussion?
I got a question, Glenn. This Harriet Street is the one that's behind the Ram Building?
Correct.
And when we first started talking about this, we were talking about they were looking to have this done, they were gonna pay the cost for it
Yes,
and have it assessed to them.
yes.
There's a portion here that the city's paying.
None of that portion. That's 100% assessed to the property owner
Okay,
in that case. The other one is participation because of the Tiger Drive. One is a bike path that we have some participation in, and the school has a significant portion on their property on the north end. But the Esther Lane, the Harriet Drive area, that is 100% REM.
Any further discussion? If not, do we have a motion?
we have a motion.
Okay, sorry, okay. All right. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Motion to consider the resolution with the official intent to reimburse expenditures with the proceeds of tax exempt bonds.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Charles, seconded by Mike, to adopt the resolution. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And C, resolution accepting the bid and awarding the contract to Rogie Excavation of Ghent in the amount of $57,765.40.
Move approval. Second.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Mike, to adopt the resolution. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have the consent agenda. Consent agenda includes items where there should not be any discussion. We list them, tell you what they are. Any council member can ask they have an item removed for separate consideration. A is a temporary 3-2 malt liquor license for the VFW Post 742 for July and August for use at the county fairground. Second is an application for exempt permit for SMSU Foundation for a raffle at Legion Field on October 7th, and at the one at the Conference Center on February 15th of '08. Thirdly, is a request from Southwest Minnesota State University Homecoming Parade on October 6th. Then we have a list of the bills, the building permits, the bills and project payments. And last of all, for informational purposes only, the building permits that have been applied for since the last meeting. Any item that anyone on the council would like removed from the agenda?
Move the consent agenda.
Right.
I move the consent agenda. Second.
Charlie has moved, Mike has seconded the approval of the consent agenda. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is approved. Old business. Consider the request of Chad Drake for a conditional use permit to construct 7 two-family dwellings under split ownership in an R1 one-family residential district located at 7 different numbers on Elizabeth Street. First of all, this has to be, it was tabled at the last meeting.
Yes.
We have to take it off the table for discussion tonight. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Charlie moved, Mike Reynolds seconded that this be taken off the table so that we can discuss item 6. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. It is off the table and open for discussion. How do we, okay, Glenn will,
Thank you,
Thank you.
Councilmember Boardingheimer. I'll just give you an update of what we have in front of you. This is the area of request for the conditional use permit for 7 two-family dwellings. This is South Fourth Street, Allen Avenue, this is Elaine Avenue here. So between South Fourth Street and Allen Avenue, on the north side in the newly developing car subdivision number 1. So essentially this half of the block, and it would be the addresses that you see there that would encompass those 7 lots. And as per our discussion last time, we talked about what the R1 one-family zoning district is, what the definitions are. Those definitions are included in your packet, and it did go to Planning Commission action, and they had recommended approval to City Council. We did include some additional comments by staff because of some misunderstandings that much of the population might have on R1 one-family residential districts, so that everyone was clear on at least what our code says about that. So we thought it was important that you understand that in an R1 one-family district throughout the city, this is how we would bring forward any request like this. So any lot in an R1 district in the city is allowed to have a one-family dwelling on it, or 2 one-family dwellings on that lot with the 10 conditions that are shown in the zoning code, plus any other conditions that council might have. We also had the discussion at the Planning Commission of ownership versus rental. In any R1 zoning district in the city, you do not have to be an owner-occupied dwelling, but you need to have a single family residence or a single family living in that residence. Those are kind of the discussions that we had and brought forward, and I think I'll leave it at that. Mr. Drake is here tonight too to answer any questions you might have. I also asked the city attorney to maybe be ready to answer any questions considering the conditional use procedure with council.
thank you, Glenn. Dennis, did you have
No, I don't have any comments. Mr. Drake contacted me late last week just to somewhat review this. It's my understanding that he is proposing to construct the residences, but it's not his intent to continue to own those. These are being put up and offered for sale. It's my understanding that, you know, any resident could own these, that he's not intending these to be rental units, but they'd be offered for sale. And so he's the developer, and he's here if you have any questions for Mr. Drake.
Mr. Drake, would you like to address the council and the audience?
I guess the only thing the concerns brought up at the last couple of items table, one of them was to do with rental, and you certainly can't make any guarantees along them lines, but the price of these buildings would probably be in just the construction cost would be that 160 to 175, 80 range. If you do that on an amortization schedule, I guess it doesn't really work very well for the rental rates that we're getting in Marshall. So could somebody buy them to rent them? I guess they could. It would probably be a losing proposition to do something like that. And I think another thing the mayor brought up is 7 of them in a just a couple things on that is it would allow the owners to have a general maintenance agreement. I also think, you know, we have the covenants that are required as one of the stipulations in conditional uses. It's 2 or 3, something like that, but if they're all in a row as opposed to being here and here and here, then there's a little bit of, each owner would know the covenants attached to the other house, and they could essentially, you know, call that person out on a violation of that covenant that's attached to the property. Additionally, street parking, I think, was another thing that was brought up, and, you know, I would anticipate that, well, these will all for sure have 2 stall garages, and then with the setback, there'd be another, 25, 30 feet of driveway that, people could potentially park on. Also with the covenants, you know, it covers, putting poles, trailers, things of that nature on the street, so as not to congest the street, they can't do that. Things like that. I think one of the major things that were brought up at the last council meeting, but certainly respect any decision or additional, recommendation, restrictions, conditions that the council thinks, is prudent.
Yes.
Dennis, I have a question.
Sure.
Unless there is a specific condition that Mr. Drake has not complied with legally, can we not pass this? I mean, if he has complied with all 1 through 10 conditions, what legal obligation?
I think you're somewhat boxed into a corner. I mean, you're right. There are 10 conditions. If the recommendation has been that all 10 have been complied with, then you're there. If you deny it, then you better have very specific reasons.
We have to have a
Yeah.
specific reason not to.
Right, correct,
Okay.
yep.
And the city staff is not recommending any additional conditions other than,
Yes, so we are recommending 1 through 10 as number 1, plus the next 2, that each unit would be for one family use occupied by persons related by blood, marriage, adoption, or not more than 3 unrelated. And number 3, a boundary survey prepared by a land surveyor registered in the state of Minnesota, filed with the city before the building official can issue the certificate of occupancy. And the reason we put that on there is because sometimes when you split a property like this, there is a property split down that common wall. And we want to make sure that that common wall isn't 6 inches one way or the other of the property line. So once the property is completed, that center line, property line is established by a registered surveyor. So it does go down the middle of that wall. That's why that's in there.
So that's an additional requirement because the property would have been surveyed at the time of platting to define the 7 lots. But then once the 7 units go up, you'd propose to split the 7 into 14 then individual unit lots.
That's correct.
Okay.
and I believe that particular request or requirement is logical simply because I can't believe that a bank would be willing to make a loan on a property that was not specifically legally defined.
That's a reasonable request, I would think, too, from the lending standpoint and legally.
Mr. Drake, do you have any problems with the additional conditions?
No, I certainly comply with these conditions or, like I said, any other conditions that the council recommends.
How about moving them down to Donald Street? I mean, we're doing a conditional use permit, but 500 feet away, you got an area you wouldn't need a conditional use permit to do. You know, for me, I have a hard time justifying giving a conditional use permit when you can drop down 500 feet in the same addition on Donald Street and have what you need.
Is there undue hardship here? Or how does that come into play, Glenn?
No, there's no undue hardship. This is something that is allowable in any lot, in any single, one-family residence district. We did have some discussion of the number of units close together on one block, but in this case, if he picked for instance, every other lot or every other block, the next owner that would come in and want to do the same thing on an adjacent piece of property next to this piece of property would be given the same opportunity. So it's not that you're restricting it to one of these units per block. That's not probably a reasonable discussion. It's his, we talked about location a little bit too. Why not move them to another location? And the discussion back was, it is location, location, location. Okay? It is the investment of what this investor wants to make and where he wants to make it. If you would recommend to me that I really shouldn't have my house where it is and should have my house on a different street.
It is, because it's cul-de-sac.
That's right. It's the site-specific rather than a zoning issue, rather than a what should I be placing on that lot and that lot and that lot. And so after that discussion, the issues with the common maintenance would go away in the covenants that they're putting together. So I think that's where it comes. It kind of stands on its own for the conditions where it is. We talked about, why not go into a multi-family area? The reason is because if you have we even talked about the R4 area across the street, for instance, but you maybe don't want a 16-plex going up to adjacent to your single-family unit. So what's included in our R1 one-family residence district is up to 2-family on a lot with all the 10 conditions plus any more that we put on. So that's the issue of what our zoning district looks like. And we also had some discussion as well, should we have split districts? R1 for 1, R2 for 2, R3 for 3, R4 for 4. You could go all the way up to R16, 16 different residential districts. And this was what was put together, I'll say many years ago, for that split, so you didn't have a dozen separate residential zoning districts. This one allows up to 2 single-family units in one lot, anywhere in the city.
Well, there's another, if you, section 8649 of the Marshall Code here, you go to number 10 and it says, this is the considerations, the things you're supposed to be considering when you give conditional use permits. It says density and population of structures. If we're doing this, those lots are 100-foot lots, they're gonna have single-family houses, now they're having split houses, they're 50-foot lots. So we got 14 50-foot lots where we had 7. So if that trend would continue throughout the whole addition, we'd have twice as many people in that addition than we started with. Twice as many lots and twice as much traffic and twice as much everything that would go on. Is that a consideration when we're talking about this, that you're going down to a 50-foot lot? I thought we had a reasonable ordinance before of how a single-family dwelling had to have a larger lot than 50 feet wide.
And you can also say the same thing, even on a 60-foot lot that we currently have, that would allow 2-family units on that 60-foot lot.
Providing they did not exceed
The coverage,
Percentage
the coverage requirements. So yes, you could have that even on your 60-foot lots, let's say in Parkway housing or Parkway development. Nothing saying that someone buying one of the lots couldn't come forward with a 2-unit individual unit, single family in both of them. So, it's something that your L&O group may want to talk about in the future, but currently it specifically allows it today, even on a narrow lot, if you don't have a maximum coverage.
What you're telling me is this R1 it allows to have this type of dwelling.
That's correct. Yes.
Then what is the conditional use permit for?
It's for establishing those conditions by which they would be allowable. So with those 10 to start with, plus any other additional reasonable conditions, that's when they're allowable. You could say, well, we want a 6-foot fence around each of these units. You know, maybe that's reasonable, I don't know. But you maybe say, we want them all single story. You could maybe say conditions like that that really aren't so restrictive that they can't be complied with. But that's what it's there for. It's specifically in there to establish the conditions by which they would be allowable, instead of you trying to come up with those 10 to start with on each one, on each request. It's a good discussion, but that's what's allowable now. That's why we have the recommendation to you.
Any member of the audience that would like to, and if members of the audience would like to comment, please come forward, speak into the mic, giving your name and your address so that we are taping the council meeting. It will be broadcast. We'd like to have everyone's name and address. So we'll open it up for comments from the audience.
Mayor? 4 years ago.
Wait a minute, name and address, please.
Devereaux, live at 509 Elaine. Been there for 4 years. First year we moved there, we had a cornfield in our backyard. Not a problem. We asked one of the local real estate persons, what's gonna be happening behind your house? Well, single-family houses. Single-family houses. Thought, well, this is gonna be a good place to live. Didn't think we'd end up in projects. You know, that's, if you're talking 2-story houses, we're never gonna see the highway, we're never gonna see daylight, I don't think. My wife and I, and my neighbors, everyone's busy tonight, so I'm here telling you, we don't want it. Thank you.
Mike, one other comment I might make on the one page, it does indicate that the lot does have to be a minimum of 10,000 square feet, so that might be, you know, it's 2,000 square feet larger if they're going to build a 2-family dwelling on that lot.
Anyone else would like to make comments?
Hi, I'm Jane Shelton. I live on 505 Elaine Avenue, and I got 3 questions for you guys to answer for me. I moved in 4 years ago, and when I bought my house, they told me it was zoned for R1, which is a single-family housing. Single, not 14 of these on the strip behind me, which are gonna be built. Second of all, what is it gonna do in my investment in my house that I purchased 4 years ago here? What's it gonna do? And why can't these be built out on 23 where it's zoned for? Why do they have to be right back on Elaine? We would beg for these bigger lots. That's all I have. I vote no.
Anyone else that has comments that they would like to make?
My name is Kevin Elton. I live on 603 Thomas. Bought a lot on 604 Lane. Just a couple of things. I was at the public hearing from the Planning Commission and kind of left with a new understanding of what R1 meant. And it's kind of my own fault if I didn't read the code. And then kind of left that meeting with an understanding or feeling that, well, as long as these 10 conditions are met, I guess they were basically forced to send it on for approval. There was no choice, which I have a hard time believing. So I did take a look at the code, and the code kind of states that it's a minimal amount, minimum requirements. So, to me, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to approve a conditional use permit, so I kind of felt like, well, you know, I don't think we have to have this approved. The other thing I found out reading the code, and it was brought up, section 8649, it said, when the planning commission or the city council is reviewing the proposed conditional use permit, it shall also evaluate and make written findings as to whether the proposed use has the following, and it lists 18 different things. Now, maybe those things are written down and I haven't found them yet, but I wouldn't mind seeing the written report addressing all 18 issues listed in 86-49. That's all.
Any other comments to come forward from the audience? I guess I would like to respond to a couple of them. One, these are single-family units. They happen to share a common wall. But they are not duplexes. A duplex, by definition, would be 2 units under the ownership of one person. These are single-family units. We just happen to do away with the 5-yard side yard requirement and joined them together, which would be subject to all of the declarations that Mr. Drake included in our packet that numbers, number of pages, which is probably includes more restrictions than there is on the entire development in general. So, anyone else in the council?
Glenn, what is our proposal? I mean, what is, how far do we have to stay away from our lot lines?
5 feet. Typically, on an interior lot, corner lots are greater than that, but generally, there's a 5-foot side yard setback requirement.
Any further discussion to come forward? If not, look for a motion from someone, from the council. I think you made it last time, didn't you? At the last meeting?
Mr. Bodenheimer,
Yes.
what's the side yard requirement on these houses? Mine is 5 feet, yours is 5 feet, what is it on these houses?
5-foot setback.
But because they will have 2 separate legal descriptions, in essence, they are waiving the 5-foot side yard because they are
Right, sure.
connected. That
Correct.
And the lot size increases by 2,000 square feet, minimum.
Any motion? I would move that the request for the conditional use permit be granted. Is there a second to that motion? Second time, is there a second to that motion? Is there a second? If not, the motion dies for lack of a second. Council, I think we need to make a decision. Time is passed. All of the conditions that we specify are being met in addition to staff's recommendation of 2 additional conditions. We can't leave everyone hanging, so let somebody make a motion. Mr. Attorney, what do we do now?
You have to take an affirmative action. If you're not going to approve it, then there has to be a specific denial and specific reasons stated for that denial. We can't just let it go for failure to act.
One question I have, does failure to act constitute approval or not?
No, it's not approval.
Isn't it, action has to be taken within 60 days of application, otherwise it is considered
Right.
passed?
Yes.
So if we do nothing.
Mr. Drake waived that requirement that it be acted on within 60 days at the last council meeting, which doesn't do anything to help resolve the issue tonight.
Well, I guess I believe all of us here sitting here were elected to our positions to carry out city business and make decisions, whether you personally agree with them, disagree with them, but we need to take action. You cannot just sit there and do nothing. To me, that's an embarrassment. Again, I will make a motion to approve the conditional use permit as requested. Seconded. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the conditional use request of Chad Drake. Any discussion? Jenny?
My question is, what Mr. Elton was trying to point out, Dennis, according to him, he saw that there was provision within the ordinance where even though the 10 conditions may be complied with, there was some leeway for council to be able to say, legally, we don't feel this is something we want to permit.
So you do have the right to evaluate and consider all of those, but once you get into the conditional use area, you're on slippery ground, I think, here. You're right. You have the right to evaluate. You should take into consideration all of those factors, assuming that, it sounds to me like the Planning Commission has evaluated a number of the 18 conditions, and they're forwarding that recommendation on to you, subject to these 10 provisions plus 3 to be approved.
So what if Mr. Drake were to withdraw his waiver of the 60 days?
Wow. To undo that, huh?
Well, if you grant permission to do something, you can take it away. I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a verbal, there was nothing more than that. Then it has to be acted on within 60 days, or it just goes into effect by rule of law.
Call for the vote.
Okay, let's call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. The motion is defeated 3-2. Mr. Now, our next course of action is, if we do nothing, it will automatically occur. If permission is withdrawn.
60 days to act. If you don't affirmatively deny, then it will occur within 60 days. It'll just happen.
Okay, do we have another motion? Second time, do we have a motion to come forward? third and final time. Is there a motion? If not, apparently, the council is refusing to take action, and it will automatically go into effect at the end of the 60 days. Is that why? Well,
I
it might,
I know. I know.
did not vote it
Mike,
down. We
you're
voted.
speaking for Chad on withdrawing that. I have not heard that from you.
I haven't either. I'm just asking for some legal advice.
Wow. You've denied the request, so you have acted on the request. Yeah, you've failed to pass the motion approving, to approve it. Wow. I'm not exactly certain. I've got to look at it 60, because I know that 60 days is it's an important rule. What have you done?
Glenn, when was the request made?
I would have to look at the
Yeah,
date.
I don't,
Go, Chad.
May 21?
So could Mr. Drake come forward and ask to have that, his verbal whatever removed?
Sure. I mean, we're still within the 60 days.
Chad?
I guess it's kind of measly, you want to, how does that, like, they need to apply for it, but it seems there's a lot of people that aren't in favor of it, and I'm definitely not in this town to create controversy and stuff like that. You know, quite frankly, I could just, you know, based on the action of the council and whatnot, if the city wants to work a deal to refund everything that I put into this, I can withdraw it.
So that means withdraw the application, not withdraw the 60-day
Exactly.
issue.
There's enough people that kind of, like, it's,
But I think you're asking then to, if you withdraw the application, you want a refund of the money that has been given to the city?
well, we haven't done it.
What is that application fee? I don't know what we're talking about here.
I think 250 plus, I think they charge more for,
Publications, out-of-pocket expenses. It'll be somewhere between $300 and $400 at least.
I just look at the city, apparently, you know, there's an issue much bigger than this project that you guys are trying to tackle. And maybe, like I said, I don't want to get in the middle of that issue. It's something you guys should probably address. And I'd be more than happy to step aside for that consideration.
We also haven't talked anything about negotiations, about could 2 of the units go on this block and 2 of the units on this block. We didn't consider this as a negotiable item. We considered this as a zoning issue versus a construction issue. That's certainly up to the applicant of whether you would want to come back with a different application that might be more receptive. But we didn't get into that between the tabling and tonight.
No.
If indeed, it was made, you said May 21st is what you said. Do you think the application was May 21st? We've got a city council meeting July 16th, correct?
Yep.
That's within that 60-day time
Yes.
period? I would make a motion that we would table this and you get together with the city, just see if we can work this out so we can come to a conclusion at the end of it all. And I would make a motion that we table this until July 16th meeting. Is that possible, Dennis? Can we
It's
retable
already
this?
been moved on, we can't table it.
What's there to work out, Charlie?
Yeah.
He's more specific. What are you looking for?
Well, if he wants to pick a little different location there, if he wants to switch it up from having all 7 on the same block, if he wants to come back and discuss it.
Jane?
I have a question. Okay, so if he doesn't want to build them here, we're trying to say no. Why doesn't he build them where they're zoned for? What's wrong down farther out on 23? What's wrong with that section where it is made for those out there?
I could respond to that.
That's my question. I mean,
Okay. The issue is that, yes, it is zoned for that. That's the whole issue, is that R1 single, one-family dwellings
Yep.
include 2-unit buildings in the zoning for R1. And that's why he's proposing them there. And yes, they could build them in R2, R3, and R4, but you can also build single-family homes in R1, R2, R3, and R4 as well. So that's the issue that Chad's got, is that the understanding of what R1 is, it is one-family dwellings that can be built up to 2 units per dwelling. Okay?
2 units per lot.
7 lots, and you-
It has to be a larger lot, that's all.
Yes, come forward.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Denise Marburg, and I live at 405 Elaine, and I think nobody has a problem with single families in those buildings. I think what we're afraid of is that someone will come in, buy those units, and when does a single family unit become a duplex?
It never does.
No?
It never does become a duplex. One person could buy 2 units, and you could have one family in one unit and one family in the adjacent unit, just like you could buy the house next to you. Okay, you can have one owner owning several units, several houses on your lot. So, yes, that exactly could happen. And the same thing, one owner could rent out their unit, okay? They could do that because you as a single-family homeowner can rent out your home to a single family as well in any single-family district, one-family district.
Or 3 unrelated people.
Or 3 unrelated people. Yes, you can.
Therein lays the process of how do you determine how many people are in that house.
That's correct, and we have gone through that process a few times in this city where we have proven that it was more than that and have actually had them evicted or changed.
Well, I can prove you there's a house in my neighborhood that's got 6 unrelated people living in it, but you can't prove it, because the only way you check is by the cars parked out front.
No,
And these people don't have cars. How else are you gonna check it?
the police department can do some checking for us.
Knock on the door every day and
Yeah, we do.
What's the
Yeah.
definition of a duplex? Somebody tell me.
Okay, a duplex is a single ownership of both units on the same lot.
Okay, my other question is to
Okay,
you.
and there's no lot line defining the 2 units.
There isn't, but there's this line going down through this wall, supposedly there's,
On this unit there is, but not on a duplex unit in a multifamily area. That's the difference.
Yes, I guess to try to clarify that, anyone that would have bought these units, there would be 2 separate abstracts, just like there would be between my house and my next door neighbor.
That's correct.
They are separate legal entities. Is that right, Dennis?
That's correct, yes.
Dennis, could you answer my question that I put before you before? Is there a possibility to retable this without, in the process? Do we have to decide this thing tonight, even though we took it off the table? Can you put it back and table it and get to another meeting and
I think so.
in the process? I mean,
I'm not up on, you voted to deny
It's already been moved.
the application for the conditional use permit.
You have to have
We
it.
voted not
You voted not to approve it.
Yeah.
We
and so-
did not.
So there
That's
really
not
isn't,
denied.
there isn't a motion that's an accepted motion that's, voted to deny or to do anything with. There was a motion that was brought forward and it was not accepted. That motion was not accepted, therefore there's no longer a motion.
Right. You need another motion.
But we have not had anyone
But
make
that's what I'm
a
asking, if
motion.
we make a motion, I suggested to make a motion to table it till the next meeting, can we do that?
It's a new
Not a-
motion, though. It
That-
can't be this.
You've acted on the motion that was out there to not
Correct.
Pass.
approve the conditional use permit.
Yeah, it did not pass.
Okay.
To approve.
no one is willing to make another motion, apparently.
Except you're offering a motion to table, but can you? What's left to do?
Why wouldn't you be able to table? I don't understand why you can't table that. Right now, there's no motions on the table. There was nothing different than there was 2 weeks ago, when we made a motion to table it for 2 weeks.
Last week, we didn't move on any motion, except to table it.
But
That's
the
what- that's
the
what
But
we-
motion,
now you acted on the
And
motion
now we
to
act
not
on the
approve.
motion, and the motion is dead.
You
we
took it,
acted on the motion to approve, and we denied
yeah.
that motion. We just voted the motion down, so there's not an existing motion.
Right, you have to have a new motion.
So what would you act on, a motion to disallow and then table that motion?
Oh,
You're the expert.
No, I'm not. I'm not a Robert's Rules of Order.
Make a legal decision. It's gonna have to be tabled for him to make a legal decision, because obviously you can't tonight.
What was that, Mr. Reynolds?
I just think since you can't answer the question legally tonight as to
Yeah.
what we do next, that we don't have a choice but to table it until the next meeting, because you obviously don't have the information
No,
to make that decision tonight.
no.
And we don't have a motion that passed to deny that. We just simply failed to approve it.
Correct.
So there's, his issue's still pending
Yep.
on whether to build this property. And
You could
we don't have anybody willing to make a motion to deny it.
Correct.
And you can't say whether or not we can table it. I don't see that we have any choice but to table it till
Right.
next time to know what his legal position is. And we'll be able to resolve that before his 60 days is up.
Yep, we will be within that 60-day.
So I would agree with Charlie that we need to look at tabling this till the next meeting, and you have to come forward with the legal
Yep.
recommendation of what our options are.
Make the
Jane
motion
has
to
a
get
comment.
him table this.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Could we get
Yep.
a comment from Jane?
He's offering to withdraw, so what
No,
more
it-
discussion is there? He's asking for his money back, which is $300 to $400. What more discussion is there?
He's asking if that's even possible, and we can't even answer that tonight, whether that's possible. We have some legal issues that have to be
Right.
decided on, and we're not able to answer those legal issues tonight.
How many times is it gonna go on and on and on and on?
If you don't do it right, it's gonna go on long enough to get 7 units in your backyard if the council doesn't act properly within 60 days. And this council wants to make certain that they act within, there's a law out there that requires them to act within 60 days, regardless of what you say.
Oh, I know that.
And if they don't do it properly, it's gonna happen.
Okay, does
Okay.
the fact that he verbally waived that come into play anymore then?
Again, we can't,
Verbal
No.
contract is the same as a written contract,
No.
everything I've always been taught.
Well, real estate requirements need to be in writing to be enforceable. Okay.
Once again, I'll make a motion that we would table this until the July 16th meeting, at which time we have another choice to act on it. At that time, I would like to know the legal ramifications of denying it and whether or not, we could have a choice to even to deny it. I mean, right now, there's a question here that I have that I wouldn't make a motion to deny it because I don't know if I can legally do that. So until I have that information, whether I could even do that legally, and if Dennis can bring that back before the next meeting, and that's my motion.
and I'll second that motion.
A motion has been made by Charlie, seconded by Mike to table this to our July 16th meeting. Any discussion on that motion?
Can you read the motion? I want to know what I'm agreeing to.
The motion that I make is that we would table this until the July 16th meeting, at which time Dennis would come back and let us know exactly what the all the legal advice that he would have, whether or not we can even deny this request or not deny this
To
request,
deny.
whether we, what we need to do.
To
and
make a
finish it
motion
that
to
end.
deny or not?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Right now, all you're asking is just to table it, to allow. for
To
further-
table it, and then
Right.
you can come back with the legal advice that we need to have.
Okay,
So the motion is to table and ask the city attorney to come up with a written options available to the council.
Sure.
That-
Correct.
Any other discussion on that motion?
Yeah, not on the motion, but just maybe we could have just an understanding in the event that Shad would come forth with a withdrawal, if the city would be able to refund, just in case that would happen to come up.
Yeah. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Aye.
4-1 to table.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, and let's take a 5-minute break here. Some new business coming up. Amending salaries and compensation of mayor and council members.
I make a motion to introduce the ordinance at the next meeting.
Second?
And I'd like to have, I'll wait for discussion.
A motion has been made to table it,
No,
No,
to approve it?
to move it to the ordinance. We have
to introduce the ordinance.
Introduce the ordinance at the next meeting.
Okay,
That's our action for tonight.
okay, yep. Introduction of the ordinance, okay. Motion been made by Charlie, seconded by Mike to introduce the ordinance. Any discussion on that?
I'd like to have one thing of discussion. I would like to know if city staff could give us a chart of cities in Minnesota from $10,000 to $15,000 and make our chart out of that rather than the 13 that we got selected there.
What was that again, Charlie?
This,
You said 1,000, did you mean population?
in population.
Oh,
Okay, the population that we got right now is from 9,737 to 24,255. I'd like to move that range down to 10,000 to 15,000. For town sizes, 10,000 to 15,000, and then include all towns, not just 11 of them.
population, all towns.
All towns, Minnesota. Could I see a sheet like that and see how we rank in that sheet? That's all I'm asking.
Okay. So the motion is to introduce the ordinance and also ask city staff to provide a wage rate for elected officials for all Minnesota communities between 10,000 population and 15,000 population.
And I talked to Eileen, and she said that she could do that.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on that motion? If not, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 8, Project Y03, the 2007 Main Street project with adjustments. Turn it over to Glenn.
Thank you, Councilmember Boehmer and Council. You can see these are items that are included under the state's project that we believe that you should be aware of what's going on with the project, but it does not take formal approval. That approval takes place by MnDOT. So we have a change order number 1, a number 3, and a work order number 3 that establishes some changes to the project. Those being the salvage of brick pavers, the change of the trees to some amenity poles as requested, and the ultimate change to the project with those items is a decrease in project amount of $12,308. And we would recommend acknowledgement of those items.
Any
Any
questions? Further questions of Glenn? Not a motion?
Do you need to make a motion, or is it just informational?
It should take an acknowledgement of receipt by the council.
Motion to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Change
I
order.
got a question. On these, salvage of brick pavers, removing concrete walk, some of that stuff, then we get on the precast concrete planters and the different trees and stuff. There are two different budgets there, isn't there?
There's-
One's coming out of a budget for construction costs, one's coming out of an amenity budget.
That's correct.
So there's not like we lump them together, there's two different.
But it is, typically, much of this is city cost,
Okay.
with a lump sum being paid for by the state, and the remainder being paid for by the city. So yes, the change of the precast concrete planters and the elimination of some of the trees does have an impact of both the city budget and the MnDOT budget. So they both are participating in it, but our lump sum doesn't diminish because of a diminished amount here for
The
us.
lump sum on amenities doesn't diminish,
That's correct.
but the construction costs, if there's any fluctuations in those, that
Is a city
gives.
cost, whether it be plus or minus.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
And I believe the contract, any changes have to be between the contractor, Midwest Contracting, and MnDOT.
In MnDOT, that's correct.
So we're just acknowledging.
Make a motion to acknowledge.
Second.
Motion been made by Charlie, seconded by Dan to acknowledge the receipt of change order 1, 3, and a work order number 3. Any questions? If not, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Moving on to agenda item 9. Project X74, which was formerly X26 and X72, North 3rd Street reconstruction and bridge replacement. We've talked about this one quite a few times. Glenn?
Thank you, Councilman Council. That's correct. This project started a long time ago, and I'll say several years ago. And if you, the special assessment process, if you haven't really gone through the process in a year of initiation, we need to start the process all over again. So even though these things, you've seen them in front of you before, we now have a final set of plans and specifications to go forward with both the reconstruction of 3rd Street, which we initiated because of the lack of sewer main in the area, and the reconstruction of the 3rd Street Bridge. So just to get back on track, this is the site location that's located at the intersection of North 3rd Street and East College Drive and Walnut Street. It's this Y-shaped intersection located there, as well as the reconstruction of 3rd Street and its utilities. This more properly describes the work that's being done there. And right now, 3rd Street comes straight through here and connects with East College Drive. And the new alignment of the project comes through and intersects at a 90-degree angle and brings Walnut Street into North 3rd Street at a 90-degree angle. And the bridge that's located right here is replaced by a triple box culvert structure that runs at an angle through this location to right here. We do have bridge bonding funds allowed for the project, and you can see a summary of those project costs as well in the feasibility report. We believe the project now is ready to go forward, so we have 3 items for you tonight. The resolution receiving the report, calling for the hearing, the resolution ordering the preparation of plans, and the one approving the plans and ordering the advertisement for bids. The reason we have those all together is those are items that you have done before, but because of the timing of the length of the project timing, we're required to do those over again. The only one you haven't acted on prior to this is number C, the plans and specs and ordering advertisement for bid. We would take any questions people might have. We also had to acquire a couple pieces of property, one for the construction of the roadway right through this area right here from Mrs. Thompson, and another small sliver of property that's actually much in the river bank or river itself from the north property owner. And now that that is essentially complete, we're ready to go forward with the project.
So Dennis, can we, one motion for all of these, or should we do them individually?
You can do one motion for all of them on this project.
Okay. So Do we have a motion?
I will make a motion that we do A, B, and C. List it out.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Motion made by Charlie, seconded by Mike to approve the resolution on the feasibility report and calling for a hearing. The resolution ordering preparation of plans and resolution approving plans, specs, and ordering the advertising for bids. Any discussion on that motion?
If we're calling for a hearing, when would that hearing be?
The hearing is on the 16th.
Sounds
16th?
Yeah, it's a hearing on the improvement. Even though we've had this same hearing once before, we need to have this hearing again because of timing.
Okay, so it's July 16th.
That's correct.
Any
Or
other,
is it January 16th?
No.
any other questions on the motion? Not all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same side. Motion passed. Agenda item 9A, which was added tonight, is project Y14, the North 4th Street Sidewalk Improvement Project. Glenn?
Yes, thank you, Councilmember Bolingheimer and Council. If you remember, we brought both 3rd Street and 4th Street projects forward at the same time, but because of differences in the projects themselves with the assessments and the potential for protests of assessments on 3rd Street, we separated them. So this project is the project from Main Street, north 1 block to Lion Street. And we're requesting that we approve plans and specs and order the advertisement for bids.
Any questions of Glenn? If not, a motion is in order.
I got one question. Glenn, where it's, in here, is the sidewalks are going all the way down to Lion Street, right?
That's correct.
They're gonna, and Northwest is going, yeah, their whole, do you have any thing back from them at all?
No, on Northwest?
Yeah,
No.
or not, West, not Northwest.
No.
anymore. Wells Fargo.
Yeah, Wells Fargo. The only item we've had back from them is that they're wanting to do the project.
Okay,
That's the only thing we've heard. We had that in writing too, as far as a petition to do the
and
improvement.
that redoes the levels of the sidewalks so that, for the buildings on this side?
It does, but except for, we have to be able to meet the alley entrance behind here, and the ability to meet that current entrance of the barber shop
Yeah.
may be difficult. They're still working with that because there's two issues you have to involve ourselves with. One is cross slope and one is longitudinal slope. And you can't go above a 5% grade in one direction and a 2% grade in the other direction. So we're maximizing both of those and increasing the elevation at the alley entrance, but we may not be able to increase it so that it's a handicap ramp at that location. We'll maximize what we can do. Any other improvements may have to be done on the inside of the building, which is typical in many situations.
Thank you.
Any further questions? If not, I believe we have the motion, right?
No,
So,
we haven't had a motion.
we haven't had a motion yet, okay.
I will make a motion that we would move forward with the approval of these plans and order the advertisements bids.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Motion made by Charles, seconded by Mike, to adopt a resolution approving plans and specs and ordering advertising for bids on North 4th Street sidewalk project. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 10, consider resolution approving the final plat of ALA addition. Again, we'll turn it over to Glenn.
Thank you, Councilmember Bolingheimer and Council. First of all, before we even get started, in the recommendation number 2, part, delete the part of that sentence, according to first development contract for Jacqueline's addition, and. That's a typo, and please take that out. So, this is what you have in front of you for ALA addition. Let me get you situated. This is East College Drive and Bruce Street. And this was brought forward in February of this year. I believe Art Olson is here representing the developer as well. And there was an issue right up here with a parcel, a piece of the property that needed some ownership
Clarifications.
we'll call it that way. So there was a quiet title action that was done between then and now. That has been complete and that issue resolved. So this area has been brought forward, one block, 2 lots. This is the lot that's looking forward for redevelopment, I believe initially. There are a couple things we want to note on this, is that this is the North Bruce Street right-of-way, that it's in the current meets and bounds description that's now being dedicated as public right-of-way. Okay, but that currently exists, that's essentially half the right-of-way. The property along East College Drive, MnDOT owns that right-of-way all the way up to their north right-of-way edge. So that's why you see this part of North Bruce Street in the subdivision plat, but East College Drive not in the division plat at this time. We also met with the utility companies and indicated areas around the lots and the lots of the block for installation of future utilities. On the north side of the property, there's already a 20-foot easement, and MMU is considering an additional 10 feet here. That's why it's 30 feet on the north side for the installation of burying that entire overhead power line that exists in that area. So right now, I believe they're also working on the North Bruce Street extension, which is also a burial of that overhead power system. So after review of the final plat, there are some items in the checklist. They're very minor, however, and we would recommend approval of this final plat of ALA addition, subject to the final plat recommendations that, coming from the checklist. They are very minor. And number 2, the payment of all fees being received according to our fee resolution. That's all comments I have. If there's any questions by council, and Art Olson is here if you have any questions for the subdivision.
Council members, any questions of Art or Dennis? If not, is there a motion for the resolution approving the final plat?
So moved. Second. With the conditions.
With those conditions.
With the conditions.
Is there a second to that motion? Motion by Mike, seconded by Dan, to approve the resolution approving the final plat with the conditions as outlined by City Engineer Glenn Olson. Any questions, discussion? If not, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item 11. Project X56, the runway 220 extension project. Consider amendment number 1 to MnDOT. So turn it over to the city engineer, Glenn.
Thank you, Councilmember Boigheimer and council. This one is for your information only. It takes no action on your part. The reason for that is that under the original agreement, the mayor was given the authorization to act on future amendments. And this amendment was only an extension of time from June 30th of 2007. I think it's for 2 more years. And we've finalized out the project at this time, and the time extension is only for completing the final paperwork and submission of the final paperwork through MnDOT Aeronautics and FAA. So it's a FYI only.
Okay, moving on to agenda item number 12, Councilman Commission Board Liaison Reports. I will state Airport Commission has not met. Lyon County Enterprise Development met last Tuesday night. An invitation was extended to all of the city council and the Marshall EDA. A majority of the Marshall EDA board was present at that meeting. Members included Dan Ritter. No one else from the council was there.
The mayor was there.
The mayor was there, excuse me. The mayor was at the meeting. The main thing that occurred that night was a presentation by 2 members of the Analyst Anonymous group about a teen center, which has had involvement from Mark Hansen, our EDA person, Noy Johnson from the Lyon County, and many people. And myself can say I was very impressed with the work that had been done to date by this group of teenagers. They've got their ducks lined up. They know exactly what needs to be done, and they're so far along in the project, and they're going to continue. They just did a very good job. Dave, would you care to comment, new president of EDA, as to your reaction?
I was very impressed with what they brought out. They did their homework and had a nice portfolio of plan of action things. And I'm interested to see them where they come. They get a little more of their T's crossed and I's dotted. I'm excited for it.
And they have been making presentations to any group that will invite them to make a presentation, and they say they're doing very well. Dan, any comment?
Yeah, maybe we need to invite them here.
We did.
What? Okay, because I brought that up.
2 meetings ago, we agreed to have them here during the second meeting in August. Mike has got them on the schedule, I believe.
Okay, the Merit Center hasn't met, Police Commission hasn't. We need to schedule a Ways and Means right after the meeting. I'd like the Ways and Means members to sit down with our calendars, and we need to get one scheduled, and it has to be prior to our next meeting on July 16th, according to Eileen, I believe. Danny?
Human Rights met last Monday and discussed quite a bit of old business for new business. They discussed some events along with some of the minority groups for Sounds of Summer, and there has been no other meetings at this point.
Okay, are you going to report about the meeting at the League of Minnesota meeting at Duluth now, or under individual items?
I didn't come prepared to report on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I had information, sorry.
Okay. Mike?
Utilities met last week, but I was out of town, so we'll just have to wait for the notes on that. And other than that, my other 2 are not meeting yet.
Dan?
None of mine have met.
Charlie?
Nothing.
Okay, moving on to agenda item 13, councilman individual items. Ben?
Just a quick note on, Mike, you ran a very commendable meeting tonight.
Mike? Any comments?
You took the wind out of everything I was going to say, Mike.
Charlie?
Not going to add to that.
Good.
Just one, Dennis, I believe, we got an email, it was prior to the last meeting, about a written report on the status of the
alleyway.
Alley.
I understand.
Will we get that
Yes,
prior
sir,
to the
we
next
will.
meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all I have. Review of pending council agenda items, anything there that someone, notice we have a meeting on July 11th for the
The audit.
audit presentation. And let's say right after the meeting, the Ways and Means, we should schedule a meeting. Anything else to come before the council tonight? If not, a motion to adjourn is. Second. Motion been made, seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.